After a big Saints win, look at that smile there. Look at our guy, Nick Underhill. Nicholas, what's up, sir? How we doing?
I can't see you guys, but I think I prefer it. I think I prefer it this way.
Finally
Touché.
waits till Shuck goes off to get him. What a front runner you are, Nick, getting on video after a big Shuck performance.
Hey, man, I'm just answering the call. But no, you look good. I mean, that was probably the most encouraging. I think the teams looked all year, man. There's a lot of really good stuff in that. And yeah, I mean, I think he just showed why they drafted him 40th and why they decided to take a look at him. But I mean, I think incredibly encouraging performance. I'm actually like disappointed they're on a bye this week because this is the first time like the whole season that it's kind of really been exciting to watch this team. I'm excited to see where they go from here and see how he builds on it. I think it like injected some needed life into kind of a season that was starting to spiral very, very negatively over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was a great performance, and he did a lot of great individual things. We were talking about that yesterday, but also like some guys that have really been struggling up front. Certainly Cesar Ruiz, I thought he had his best game as well. And so you had a little bit better protection, but also like Tyler Shough is some of those extended plays where he found a window and then like just bought a little bit of time where the defense got a little lax in coverage and he was able to find a couple of guys down the field as well. I thought really for Shough, but also for some of the protection stuff that they've had, this was one of their better, if not their best day.
Yeah, he had some like win because moments, and on those big third downs, I think that's really where you saw it. There was the 3rd and 12. I think there was like a 3rd and 8. He was short on the 3rd and 17 throw to Vele, but that throw through that tight window. I mean, the very first one, he breaks out of what looked like a sack, buys some time, keeps his eyes down the field, finds Juwan wide open up the sideline. Like that's a big time play. And look, I mean, I think those are kind of the moments that you got to have. Either one of these guys, they need to have those moments so that they aren't drafting a quarterback top 5. Like that's the stuff that you got to see. I don't think that you're relying on either one of these guys to win you games, but you need to have moments within a game that you can look back on and say like, okay, he contributed to it to stop them from going another direction. And yeah, like it's one game, and he's going to need to do it a bunch of other times. The NFL's littered with guys that have done it 1 time, 2 times, and that didn't keep it going. But you got to start somewhere. And I thought it was a pretty good start for him in this one. And, I think he threw with good anticipation. The throw to Taysom was behind him. That's one that we've been hammering on both the quarterbacks all season long about that little bit of technical accuracy. But I thought he gave his guys a chance. I thought he showed off the arm. The athleticism's good. And really, like, he surprised me big time with how confident he looked in the pocket. That was the thing coming into the league. That was the thing in training camp. And just, I think it's just very obvious that like working with Scott Tolzien every day on the footwork and just that pocket presence, I think it paid off. And that's probably the reason that we didn't see him for the first 9 games of the season. There was some of the stuff they wanted to work on, make sure he had his best shot when he got in there, did good one game, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah, Nick, so watching the game, I mean, you see an offense there that, it's been, struggled, shown some moments throughout the season, but certainly struggling. Every part of the team has been struggling really throughout the season, obviously. Record indicates that. But you saw guys this Sunday making some plays. You saw guys that have done some things that they hadn't done. I mean, Jake just brought up Cesar Ruiz playing his best. I mean, who would have thought that would have come? You got Juwan Johnson, 92 yards receiving. You had Kamara with, 115 total yards from scrimmage, something like that. Chris Olave goes over 100 yards receiving. So you see guys that have been struggling to be at least consistent throughout the season step up and make plays. You saw an offense play with energy. Is that do you think they can mimic this? Do you think it's something – I know it's something to build on certainly, but based on the history of the season, do you think that they can start stacking these moments? I'm not even going to say wins because wins are obviously hard, but just stacking these performances, individual performances on top of each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a huge thing. I mean, obviously, we saw guys play way better. I think the O-line can be better. I think Caesar's actually played decent like the last few weeks, but like Radens didn't have a great game in this game. I think he can play better. I think getting Flugga out there in place of Asim Richards, he can play better there. Like they were down 3-0 line from what they were the whole other half of the season. So I think that they have more talent there that can play a little bit better. Chris, the consistency, I think, is obviously something that was just kind of weird this year. Like, I don't think drops have been something that have defined him. So it's kind of like, was that the blip, or is this kind of the the real guy. You know, obviously the one-handed catch is exceptional. Like, but he's been a pretty consistent pass catcher throughout his career. Like the drop sprint thing, Juwan's like so up and down. I don't know what to expect from him. Now the run game's interesting to me because we saw them go 19 times under center on runs in this game. They did that same exact number against the Bills, and those are the two best rushing performances of the season. So if we don't see that going forward, I'm going to be incredibly confused if they go back to just trying to run inside zone out of shotgun, average 2.9 yards per carry, and it's just like you're doing it over and over and over. Like that makes no sense to me. And honestly, like I think they can do a way better job of building off those looks. They only threw 3 times from under center. I think you got to start incorporating more play action off it, get some shots down the field, and just kind of become a more diversified look on offense. So I think that is something that they can replicate. It's just it's a choice. And it's crazy to say it, but like, it really does just feel like a choice of like, do you want to do this thing you're good at, or are you just going to keep trying to hammer what you want to be your identity that isn't working for you? So I think they got to be a little bit more flexible in that. And I think they will be. There's no way you can look at that and go away from it again.
Nick, so often we talk about the offensive woes for the Saints, and because the defense has certainly had moments, but I want to ask you about a young defensive player because there's so many veteran defensive players. Like Demario Davis had another incredible game, but we all know where he's at in his career. Where are you at right now with Kool-Aid? Because he's a player that you traded for. He's a player we didn't talk about at all really last year, and this year, like him now being a guy, being a starter. There's ups, there's downs, but like from what you've seen, is he the guy that you thought he was, and do you think that he is continuing to develop to be that guy?
I think you said it with like the ups and the downs with Kool-Aid. Like I think there's some games where, I mean, there's been a few where I've come out of it and been like, man, he was like the best guy on the field, at least on defense. And then other games is just kind of not good. And then there's like the middle. So the inconsistency really, the inconsistency with the whole secondary is kind of something that bothers me overall. And I might just be like an old guy at this point, but man, I like press coverage. Like I like seeing guys, like if you're losing, you're losing because you're losing. And it's not like, oh, well, you're playing, a 9-yard cushion on 2nd and 6, and they're getting the first down, but you're tackling quick and not giving up the explosive. Like it's just hard to gauge it sometimes. Like you look at the yardage numbers and then you look at the film, and like sometimes they don't necessarily correlate to exactly what it feels like you're watching, because I think sometimes the coverage is so soft. So I don't know. Like I feel very unsure about all those guys in this. I feel the same way about Quincy Riley. Like it's just kind of, sometimes I feel like he's playing great, and then other times it's like it feels like there's a lot of yardage, and it's just kind of hard to correlate it sometimes. I'm extremely unsure about all of them. But I'll say this: like if the draft were today, like I would have cornerback on that list of like top 3 needs, or at least 3 areas of improvement. And honestly, I don't know how much of a difference it would make with the scheme and the way they're playing. But I'm extremely unsure about him right now. I mean, he's one of those guys too coming into the season that it felt like he was kind of like a player that could like tilt the scale on how you felt about like the entirety of the roster. Like 4 or 5 of those guys, I think, were in that group. And I think he's still kind of teetering on it a little bit. I think he's doing fine, but I don't know that there's like the consistent high impact week to week that maybe you're looking for out of like your top cornerback.
Yeah.